Hi, in this video, I'm going to talk about your mindset, but specifically the mindset you need when you are preparing for an exam. So, you may have heard of a guy called Tony Robbins. He's a very, very famous, very, very successful coach from the States, and he says, and other people say this too, that success is 20% skill and 80% mindset. In other words, the way that we think about ourselves and about the situation we are dealing with is more important than our actual skills and abilities around this topic. So if you think about exam preparation, you probably mostly just do skills, it's not just, you mostly do skill stuff, right? You have to improve your reading, you have to improve your listening, you have to learn vocabulary, you have to learn lots of grammar. So most exam preparation is really on developing these core language skills. And of course, these are extremely important. If you can't write a good essay, you're not going to do well in the writing exam, it's obvious. But mindset is really important too, okay? And if you are preparing for IELTS or CAE and your mindset isn't strong enough, all of this work that you're doing on your core skills, it might not be enough. And to give you a real example, I had a lovely student once a couple of years ago, a Japanese lady, and she was preparing for IELTS, and her company, her work wanted her to prepare for IELTS. So she was working full time in Japan, so it's super long hours. She was preparing on her own, apart from me, once a week. She needed a 7 or a 7.5, but she was at least one level lower than that, at least. And she had absolutely no confidence in her abilities at all. And, she used to cry in the lessons, and it was just awful. And I don't know what happened to her in the end, but I know that we never were able to get a good result for her. And in a way, she was working and she was persevering, but she believed that she wasn't good enough. And she had this unrealistic time frame that had been given to her by her boss. And it wasn't a healthy situation for her. So mindset, if you're going to work for IELTS or Cambridge, you need to have a really strong, healthy mindset. So a couple of different kinds of mindset then. We can talk about having a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is when we believe on a fundamental level that it is possible for us to grow and change. And the opposite of growth mindset is a fixed mindset. And this is when people say things like, oh, well, I can't write essays, and I just can't, I won't be able to ever do it. And this is fixed because you're not allowing yourself the possibility to change. And it's very common for me to hear things from people like, oh, I just can't do this speaking task, it's too hard, I'll never be able to do this, I'll never pass this exam. I hear that a lot. And those are all examples of a fixed mindset. And it's really limiting. It really holds us back. I fall into this fixed mindset too sometimes. I will think to myself, oh, I can't do that. All right, well, why not? They do that. Why can't I do that? So having a fixed mindset, it limits you. It limits how creative you're going to be in solving problems. And it actually can limit how much action you're willing to take. You might just give up and stop. So if you've got a fixed mindset, or you think you've got a fixed mindset, how do you switch that into being a growth mindset? Well, it's easy. You just add yet to the end of your sentence. So who knows, maybe you can't write an essay yet, but you can certainly learn how to write an essay. Maybe you don't know enough phrasal verbs yet, but for sure you can go and learn some. You see what I mean? So when we add a yet to the end of something, we change it from being, it's impossible, I can't do it, to acknowledging that we are having trouble with this, but also acknowledging that we've got the possibility of growing and changing and overcoming our current limitations. That's what you need for exam preparation. So when you are working for IELTS or Cambridge exams, unless you have got already the right level of English, you are probably in for a lot of work and a lot of preparation time. So the first thing I would say about cultivating a growth mindset for exams is that you need to be realistic. All right, if we go back to that Japanese student, she wasn't realistic. You know, she had this ridiculous time pressure from her work, which didn't match her actual language level. And this was causing so much stress because she'd set herself a goal that she just couldn't reach, especially when she was only able to study for about half an hour a day. It was impossible. So the first thing to do to help you create this good mindset, this growth mindset, is to be realistic about your goals. Great, you need a 7 in IELTS, fine. But if you're only at B1 at the moment, that's a long way away. So you need to be really realistic about how much time you need and how much time you have to study, okay? If you expect yourself to be able to do things too quickly, it can be very demoralizing because you probably can't do them that quickly. So first thing to do is to be realistic about what you can achieve in the time you have. Second thing is to just accept that things are going to go wrong, okay? When you prepare for an exam, there are going to be problems. You're going to get stuff wrong. You're going to do bad writing. You're going to do speaking tasks which are disasters. But it's okay. It's okay. It's all part of that learning process. I had a CPE student last year. She spent a long time working for the exam, and she did a lot of experimenting, particularly with the writing, and sometimes the experiments worked and sometimes they didn't work. But at the end, she kind of pulled it all together and became a very good writer. But she wouldn't have become a good writer without all that practice and experimentation. So when you're preparing, just accept that things will go wrong, learn what you need to learn, think, okay, I can't do this yet, I need more time, and that's okay. And the final thing that you could do to work on this growth mindset is to question your beliefs. Now, I have met students who literally say things to me like, oh, I'm not good enough. My English is not good enough. I'm like, no, it is. It actually really is. I can hear that it's good enough. You just don't think it's good enough. And of course, when we think that, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to take this exam. It's such a limiting belief. It really pulls us down, and you know, it doesn't help you to have those beliefs. We all have doubts. It's okay to have a doubt for a bit. You know, I have doubts about what I do, but fundamentally I believe that I can achieve the things I want to achieve. And you need to have that belief too when you are working for an exam. Our beliefs, we think they are facts. Inside our heads, our beliefs are facts. I'm not good enough, fact. Actually, your belief is something that you choose to believe, is not a fact. Thinking I'm not good enough or I am good enough, well, that's a simple choice. Which one do you want to believe? So changing those beliefs and really making sure that those stories you say to yourself are positive, healthy stories is a huge part of exam preparation. I can do this. I'm going to pass IELTS and I'm going to get my band 7. That's it. So those are some things for you to think about when it comes to mindset for exams. If you would like to read the blog post that goes with this video, the link is underneath. You're welcome to go and check it out. I do a lot of work with mindset, so if this is something you'd like some more support with, feel free to get in touch. My name is Sarah. I am an English teacher and language anxiety coach, and I help people overcome their fear of speaking and using English. Thank you for watching.